Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Zach Pescarello, and I wanted to share with you all my own personal experience when I started my box truck business. So, a lot of you might be CDL drivers, might be owner operators, dispatchers, brokers. This video is more so just for box trucks and maybe sprinter vans, cargo vans, but I wanted to share with you my experience in the first 3 months of starting my business. So, I am an accountant and a bookkeeper, but I wanted to start a trucking company kind of on the side, little project, and I have experienced some ups and downs in the first 3 months. So I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to share my company, Route 20 Trucking Company. I'm going to share my actual QuickBooks with you guys. So that way, if you guys are thinking about it or if you've already started, you guys can kind of see what I have experienced in the first 3 months and the expenses that I have incurred. So, going to jump right into it. This is, like I said, this is my business. This is my actual QuickBooks account, and Route 20 Trucking Company. I applied for my authority back in April. So this is April, May, and June. This is my profit and loss straight from QuickBooks. So like I said, I'm an accountant and a bookkeeper. I own Harrisburg Bookkeeping, so I've got a lot of experience with QuickBooks. So I just want to share that with you guys real quick so you can see what to expect. This is my profit and loss statement. Luckily, my partner, he was willing to drive for another company to get started. So he made $3,000 for the business. So don't worry about that. So he made $3,000 driving someone else's truck, someone else's company, and we spent $200 on fuel. So that's kind of separate from the actual cost of getting started. He didn't drive the truck that I currently own. Okay, so here we have expenses. Like I said, this is just the first 3 months. This is me on the FMCSA website applying for my authority. I don't even have my authority yet in this profit and loss. So I spent $79. We can click this here, advertising and marketing. I spent $79 on a logo, super cheap. Probably wasn't necessary. Definitely wasn't necessary. I wouldn't recommend buying a logo, but I just was excited. Just spent $79 on a logo. Here, it's $11 on driver history. The DOT requires, that you have the last 3 years of all of your driver's history. So through Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, I spent $11 getting my driver history. And then here, health physical. I got two DOT physicals, one in April, one in May, one for myself and one for my driver. So that was $85 each. So there, the company spent $170 on DOT physicals. And then this was my biggest expense, my down payment for my insurance. It was $1,142, and I spent that in June. So everyone knows you need to have insurance for your authority to go live. So I applied for my authority in April, and I was approaching my 60-day deadline to go active. So I was kind of rushed in the month of June, but everything worked out. I got my insurance, I paid the down payment, and I got my authority in June. Paid $1,142. I've got a pretty clean driving record, so does my driver. And also, my truck is only $28,000. It's just a box truck, so not terribly expensive. So if you're looking at that saying, how is it so low? Just keep in mind it's only a box truck, and I've got a pretty clean driving record. So there's my insurance, my first payment of insurance. And now, what's next? Insurance. Okay, registration fees. This is probably going to be the most useful. FMCSA registration, $300. That's pretty standard across the board. I spent that April 19th, $300. And then BOC3 filing, $25. Don't spend more than $25. There's a bunch of scams out there trying to get you to pay $50, $75, $100. It's only $25. Don't spend more than that. And then the UCR registration, I did all three of those things in the first 3 days. So the 19th, the 20th, and 21st, I knocked out all three of those things. UCR cost me $60. And then a week later, I finalized my LLC filing. So that was $70. So you need to file with your Department of State, whatever state you live in or whatever state your business is going to be operated from. That's where you're going to want to file your LLC paperwork. And that cost me $70. So all in all, registration fees were $455 to get started. So $455. Total expenses came out to be $1,868, and that's before I even got the truck. So before you think about starting a box trucking company, make sure you have some cash saved up, because that right there was $2,000, roughly $2,000 to get started. Okay, so that was April, May, and June. And I'm going to dive a little deeper into July. So fast forward past April, May, June, and then I got my truck in July. So I just made a video yesterday, kind of a broad overview of July, but now I'm going to go into detail. So my first month, got the truck. Watch my first video if you kind of want the broad overview, but now I'm going to go into detail. Okay, first month. So I got my truck July 4th weekend. So I only did one load. It took me a month to get the maintenance and everything squared away, dispatch figured out. It took me an entire month from the day I got my truck to even run my first load. My first load was just a local run, and I made $600. And I spent $200 on dispatch fees. So that was just a down payment to my dispatcher, just kind of a security deposit, and he said he's going to pay me back after the first month. So we'll see. Fuel, $735 on fuel, and that is pretty high. I spent about $200 getting the truck home the first week of July, but you can see here, 80, 14, 100, 80, 125, 86, and 62. So that was all fuel that I spent in the first month. So $735 worth of fuel in the first month. And a lot of that fuel was spent driving for loads that I did not yet get paid for. So I signed up for a factoring company. But, as you know, it still takes 24, 48 hours to get paid. So all of this fuel happened in like the last 2 or 3 days of the month. So I didn't yet get paid. So make sure you guys have a credit card or some cash saved up before you start, because you're going to have a lot of upfront expenses. Driver history, again, the first 3 months I got my driver history, and then I purchased my actual driver's driver history. Factoring fees, $143 worth of factoring fees. So they charged me $120 one-time fee, allegedly. We'll see. Security interest fee, cost. I guess they registered with, I don't even know who they register with, but they spent $120 and they charged me for it. Hopefully that's just a one-time fee. And then they charge $5 for an ACH transfer, 75 cents for the invoice creation, and then they charge me 3% on all my gross sales. So I spent $143 on just factoring fees for my very first load. But hopefully that $120 will never happen again, so I'll be able to save some money there. Okay, that's factoring fees. What else did I spend money on? I spent a lot of money in the first month. So interest paid. So I got a truck loan, and whenever you have a loan, you have to split the interest and the principal. I'm not going to get too detailed into that. Just know that every single month for the next 5 years, I'm going to be spending about $70 on interest alone just for my truck. It's not even covering the actual cost of my truck. That's just interest I'm paying to the bank for my loan. It was a $28,000 truck. I got a loan at like 3.5% over 5 years. So hopefully you can get a commercial auto loan for less than 4%. You'll be paying about $70 to $100 a month in interest alone. That's not going towards the principal. That's just interest. Now, truck supplies, job supplies. I spent $52 on ratchet straps. I spent $20 on the ratchet strap hooks to connect to the inside of my walls on my box. Spent $340 on a pallet jack, and then $65 on a logbook. I don't have an electronic logging device yet, so for my pre-inspection and for my hourly logbook, I went to Amazon. I think it was like 6 months worth of paperwork for $65. So right there, that's $540 of expenses just in 1 month. Hope I won't have to buy ratchet strap hooks, or a pallet jack ever again. Hopefully, I mean the pallet jack's going to break eventually, but that's kind of a one-time purchase right there. Let me move my face out of the way. Yeah, so you can see there, $541 just for July. So once again, the expenses just keep piling up. Now, office supplies and software. This is a common category you'll see in QuickBooks. Spent $125 for truckstop.com. I'm going to go with the dispatcher. I already canceled my truckstop.com load board subscription, but expect to pay anywhere from $100 to $150 for your load board subscription. So right there, I spent $125. I don't know about that board. I've never tried it. I've heard good things about it. I've heard Selectus is the best for box trucks. I'm just going to rely on my dispatcher to get me loads, because that job is tough. I don't know how y'all do it. Okay, registration fees. This was surprising to me. I mean, I've never registered a commercial vehicle before. I spent $63 for the magnets on the side of my doors for my DOT and MC number. You got to display that on the side of your doors anytime you're moving with a commercial vehicle, you're hauling freight. At the Pennsylvania Department of Motor Vehicles at the DMV, I spent $586 on annual registration. Spent $86 on recording the title and lien, which is just a one-time fee. And I spent $5 on a weight ticket. So I had to get the weight certified by a weight master to register my vehicle. So right there, that's $740. Hopefully the truck sign and the title and lien are just a one-time fee, but $586 every single year annual registration. So, factor that in to your budget for sure. Not expected to be over $500. Okay, now truck maintenance. Let's see. Total for truck maintenance. All right, $1,750. Okay, so here, let's see. Spent $8 on a mirror, the blind spot mirror on one of my side mirrors, busted. Spent $111 on a new AC and serpentine belt. $75. Just part of my box was broken, so I had to buy a new cap for my box truck. $180 for labor. I got spare keys, $6. Highly recommend you get spare keys for your truck. Don't run the risk of just having one key and losing it. $6 at Home Depot or Lowe's. $61 for the annual sticker and annual inspection. $300 for oil filter, fuel filter, and oil change. So expect to pay about $300 every probably 2 or 3 months for your oil change, depending on how much you're driving. And then $1,000 on 2 tires. And I have to get 2 more tires. So in my budget, I planned on getting new tires every single year. So I figure it's about $500 per tire. I got 6 tires, so $3,000 every single year just on tires. Crazy, I know. Hopefully we can start making some money. But right now we're just spending it. So there's $1,000 on tires. So all in all, the very first month, just to get operational, after I bought my brand new truck, it wasn't brand new, after I bought my truck, spent $1,750 on just the maintenance itself. So $1,750 on maintenance. Toll road. Let's see what was. Oh, I got an Easy Pass. Recommend. I haven't used it yet, but I think it's going to work out pretty well. I got an Easy Pass just to put up on my windshield. That way I don't have to worry about paying tolls when I drive through. I can just pay it electronically. Okay, so the last thing I'll touch on is depreciation of your truck. So if you have a commercial vehicle, you need to record depreciation. And without getting too far into it, straight line depreciation. So and a commercial vehicle typically depreciates in 5 years. So every single month, 5 times 12 is 60. Every single month, take the total value of your truck divided by 60, and that's how much depreciation expense you will record on your profit and loss. So if you buy a truck right now for $30,000, that's not an expense right away. You have to depreciate your asset because you're going to be using it for more than just a year. So you have to expense it over the life of the vehicle. And it has been predetermined that the typical life of a commercial vehicle is 5 years. So they give you 5 years to depreciate it. So make sure you guys are talking to your accountant about depreciation, because it's very important. And keep track of it on a monthly basis. That way, you could do one journal entry at the end of the year, but that's not very good for your planning and your budget purposes. So keep track of your depreciation on a monthly basis. So those are the startup costs for a trucking company. The first 3 months was pretty slow, and then whenever you actually get your truck, it picks up pretty quickly. I don't know if I talked about insurance. Yeah, insurance. I think I might have skipped over insurance. There's $893 every single month for insurance. So I hope that was helpful. Hopefully you guys, maybe rewatch this video, take notes. I would definitely recommend planning before you get a truck. Plan out your budget, plan out your cash, because it's going to take about $7,000 to $10,000 to get started, plus potentially a down payment on your truck. So probably $10,000 to $15,000 cash you're going to need upfront to spend on a box truck company. Cargo van's probably different. Tractor trailer is definitely different. CDL, non-CDL, hot shot, whatever you guys are driving, it's going to be a little bit different. But this is a good example. I got an 18-foot box truck, and these are all the expenses that I incurred in the first 4 months just getting started. So I hope this video was helpful. I plan on sharing more information about my trucking company. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So stay tuned. I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel. It's under my name, Zach Pasquarello. So feel free to check me out there. I've got other QuickBooks videos if you guys ever need help with your QuickBooks. So appreciate you all watching, and I will see you all in the next one.